Yeah, okay. You tripping, but I'm telling you, it was time I didn't like God. Seriously. Yeah, seriously. Let me tell you why, right? I think I was about 8 years old, right? I was going to one of my friend's house, right? So I'm walking down the street, I'm by myself, I'm walking past his house, it had this fence around it, right? So I seen the sign that said, beware the dog. I ain't really paying enough attention, so I'm just moseying on down the street. Next thing you know, as soon as I got in front of this house, I hear roo, 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 roo. These dogs came running towards the fence, and they scared me so bad, I ran out the street, and all of a sudden, boom, I got hit by a truck just that quick. Just ran right out into the road, and boom, I got hit by a truck just that quick. And I remember when the truck hit me, I went in the air a little bit and I hit the ground and I'm laying down there and a white man jumped out the truck. He was like, hey, you alright? You alright? Why would you run out in the street? He yelling all this at me and I'm laying down there because I'm in shock. Can't believe I just got hit by a truck. So the man, he's trying to help me up, he's shaking me. So I get up and I'm kind of stumbling and I'm all skint up. He was like, man, let me call the ambulance. I was like, please, sir, don't call the ambulance. I'm okay. He said, no, I gotta call somebody. Where do you live at? I said, man, please don't tell my mama. Please don't tell my mama. Because, it was back in the day that no matter what happened to you, even if it was an accident, your mama you was gonna get a beating for that. So I ain't care nothing about no broken bones. I just did not want my mama to know I got hit by a truck, because that really would have got my behind tore up. So I was begging, man, please, I'm okay. You sure? I said, yes, man. I was walking around to show him that I was okay, so he let me go. So I'm sitting there like, wow, man, I couldn't believe that happened to me. So fast forward, I'm about 9 years old. I'm in the car with my dad, my mom, my two sisters. We in the station wagon. We riding up this busy interstate. And we just ride. I'm leaning on the door. All of a sudden, my door opens up and I fall and I hit the pavement. Boom! On a busy interstate. Fall, I hit the pavement, and I remember rolling on the road, started rolling on the side, and I went down in the ditch. I'm looking at the ditch, and I see the brake lights come on my dad's truck, on the station wagon, and I remember the door flying open. My daddy jumped out, and he came running towards me full speed, grabbed me by the ditch, put me in the car, and they rushed me to the hospital. Got to the hospital, no broken bones, a little bit of blood, got some stitches. Now, it's amazing that I fell out on that busy interstate. Could have got ran over by the back tire, could have busted my head open, but yet still, all was well. So I was still trying to figure out what's going on with my life. So many years goes by, and I'm in college now. My dad called me one day and said, he wanted me to give him a ride. He wanted me to drive him somewhere because he was tired. So I said, yeah, come get me, Dad. Dad, keep up on campus, pick me up. I jump behind the wheel, and I'm driving my dad to where he need to go. My dad falls asleep. Now, as soon as I get on the interstate and I'm riding real good, I done got asleep. So I'm riding, I got my dad, I'm driving his big Fleetwood Cadillac, looking good, the car looking good, smelling good, Dad, and I fell asleep. Next thing you know, I drifted off into a sleep. And I remember hearing the car on the grass. I had done went off of the interstate onto the grass on this side of the interstate. So I'm hearing the floop. I'm hearing the grass. So as soon as I heard the grass, I panicked and I slammed on the brakes. And I heard my dad say, take your foot off the brakes. And the car just spin around and it went all the way across the interstate and it slammed into a bank hard. Boom! I remember my dad said, you okay? I said, yeah. My dad got out and he looked at his car and he saw the damage and he knew right then his car was total. And I remember my dad just collapsed over the car like, he couldn't believe it. My dad started saying, he said, if you were sleeping, why you didn't just tell me that? Why would you, my dad was mad. And matter of fact, that was his new car. I don't think he had it 2 weeks. And man, you ought to know how miserable I felt on that day. I'm like, why is all this stuff keep happening to me? So here it is, a couple of more years later, my best friend came down. Our birthday is on the same day, so we was hanging out. But the plan was to go back to Baltimore and hang out with him. So he came down and hang out with me for a little while, but on our birthday, we planned on celebrating in Baltimore. So I had a friend at the time, so we all planned on going back together, and we just gonna drive him back and then hang out, in Baltimore, right? So here it is. We on the interstate, we rolling. We got in the far part of North Carolina, going up 95. We starting to get sleepy, right? So we getting close to Virginia. So let my friend take the wheel, and I just sat on the passenger side, and went on to sleep. So as we got closer into Virginia, my friend drifted off a little bit, just on that side where it make that loud noise, like boom, 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 like that when you kind of go off on, to the shoulder of the road. So when I heard that, it scared me, right? So in my sleep, I grabbed the wheel and I pushed the car like back onto the road. but I didn't let it go. So I heard my friend say, let go the wheel. And while I was holding the wheel, they ended up slamming on the brakes and causing the car to just spin uncontrollably on I-95. And we spin around, and then we slammed into the wall on the left side of the interstate. I mean, we slammed into it real hard, and now we're facing the oncoming traffic. But somehow there's no traffic coming up busy I-95 north. But the car is total. You know, we got a little bit of blood on us, no broken bones. So we ended up having to, me and my friend had to catch the bus back from Virginia to South Carolina. And my friend that was going to Baltimore, he had to catch the bus from Virginia back to Baltimore. Once again, I'm trying to figure out, what is God? What is he doing with me? Why is all this happening to me? What is going on? So anyway, fast forward, 2009 comes, and I'm coming from a club, and you know, I'm not drunk or none of that. I'm just sleepy. So I'm driving from Charlotte to Columbia. I got sleepy, and I fell asleep behind the wheel of my Suburban, and ended up flipping it 9 times. I was thrown through the windshield and broke my neck and all these bones and all that, and totaled my truck right there on the scene. And again, couldn't figure out why God was allowing all this stuff to happen to me. Why I keep going through all this stuff, especially with cars and accidents. But God still allowed me to still be alive. So I'm still a little bitter. But so I say, you know what? God, I forgive you for allowing all this stuff to happen to me. Imagine that. I'm forgiving God. So God, I forgive you for allowing this to happen to me. So just to show you my appreciation, I'm going to give my life to you. So I did. I got saved. I gave my life to God. And I said, you know what, God? I done forgave you. So now you can stop allowing this stuff to happen to me. So here it is. Once again, about 2 years later, after I gave my life to God, I'm getting ready to do all these. I had like 4 back to school concerts lined up on the same day as a Sunday. But on that Saturday night, my car started tripping. Wouldn't go past 40 miles per hour. I don't know what was going on with my Forerunner that night. So I said that all that night I was just praying that my car would just make it so I can get to all these concerts, and I was gonna get it fixed, you know, on that Monday. So here it is, you know, that early matter of fact, the concert was on that Saturday, so it was a Friday when it was tripping. So Saturday morning my wife had to be to work. So she had to be work like 6 o'clock in the morning. So I remember praying in the bathroom that this, you know, my car would make it. So I drove like a little old lady trying to get her to work. So I remember when I dropped off to work, I remember her saying, I'm gonna be praying for y'all. My wife never says that. So I got my 2 little boys in the back seat. They about 3 and 4, you know, 3 and 4 at the time. So I go to the light. I'm sitting at the light, and I'm just, you know, I get to the light, waiting on the light to turn green. You know, trying to, you know, get my music right in the car. I got my 2 sons in the back. I think at the time it was about 3 and 4. They're sitting in the back seat, and I'm sitting there. This thing I hear, boom. I'm waiting at the light. I'm sitting here at the light. Drunk driver is coming from my blind side. He runs the light and goes straight into my car, straight into my truck. Totals my truck while I'm sitting at the light with me and my 2 boys sitting in there. And I couldn't believe it. I had just got to praying, God, let me make it to these shows. My wife said she was going to be praying for me. Next thing you know, the next thing I see is a doggone drunk driver coming through, slamming my truck. I hear my boy scream. I jumped out and checked on them, they was okay. I ran to the vehicle. I was a little mad at this dude. I went over there, but he was unconscious, his airbag out. And I'm like, wow, man, look at all this stuff that happened to me. A little upset, a little mad at God. This is still happening to me. And I thought about it when I had a moment of clarity. Could have been dead, could have been gone. So when I look at all the stuff that God allowed me to go through and still kept me here, how can I not love him? I love him. I adore him for giving me an opportunity to still be here, to breathe this good fresh air, and to have my own family, to have my own life, my own career. God, you're awesome in all your ways. Sometimes you just got to step outside of your situation, your circumstances, and look where God has brought you from, what he allowed you to go through, and God has been there each and every time. Stay encouraged, man. For real. Stay encouraged, because God got your back. I'm a true example of God having somebody's back. I've been through it all, but I'm still here. You know what I mean? Let's go get something to eat, man. Let's roll.